Before running a retargeting ad, what you need to have is a post to start with, preparing to run on the Facebook ad. You need to ensure that your creative is ready and description which goes with the ad creative. Here, let's just see a very simple method to create post from your ad account. And you will be able to understand them as you go forward. Very first, just go ahead to your tools and click on page posts. So you have three options over to your left. Publish post are all the post that is published in your Facebook business page, and any scheduled post will be under this scheduled post tab. And we are going to see the last one, which is ads. So what basically we are going to do here is create a post, and then we are going to use that post in an ad. This is also called a dark post. So it basically won't really show up on your front page of your business account, but it will be a post that we can use in the ad. So let's just create post by clicking on the button in order to create a post. For the demonstration purpose, I have taken a website. Here we are on the link tab. You have a choice when doing this. You can enter a link. You're going to put the URL here of your website. So let's just paste a URL. In my case, it is going to be sid.com.np. Now it's going to be full URL of your website. You can have your own URL, by the way. Once you're done with pasting a URL, you're going to put a button here. So again, it's your choice. Let me just put shop now, as the website I've taken is an e-commerce type of website. And of course, a description. I'm going to put one now. Let's say, what's your favorite sports? Get you bigger and better experience with branded LED television with an exclamation mark. So I am going to select only use this post for an ad, and this will be available for the ad purpose only and will not be posted in my front page of Facebook business account. Now simply create post, and once this post is created, it's going to create this post ID. So inside my ads tab, I have this post ready for my ad. In order to see how the ad will look like, simply click this list and you will have the fair idea by seeing at the post you just created. And it's fairly simple to edit this post. If you need more modification, you need to click on these three dots and simply clicking on edit post to edit the description of this post. Most importantly, what we want from this post is you simply want to grab this post ID, which you can see here in this column section, and you can simply copy the ID, which you can see under the post details over here. And now when you copied this, you need to simply paste this ID inside the ad section while you create an ad. We obviously are going to see them in our later chapter. So what we did here is we're assuming that we have no related post in our business page, and we have created this dark post, which is now available for us in creating our ad with this post as a Facebook advertiser. You can always come back here and do necessary changes multiple times before running your ad. When we're talking about your content, let us assume you have a blog or maybe a website, and you want your readers to read your content. And what you like from the reader, those who read article 1 to read the second article as well. So what you can do is you need to create a retargeting campaign, ensuring that visitors who read article 1 for some reasons he left, and you want to get them also to article 2. So just basically send the article 1 reader a quick reminder that the part 2 is even more interesting for you. Now in this chapter, we are going to create a retargeting list, a custom audience that includes people who read article 1, which in my case is, I have already copied this. So the article says 7 reasons why marketers in Nepal need to be excellent content writers. I have got the link here for article 1. So this is my full URL of the article. At the same time, who did not read article 2, and I have the URL as well for this, which I have this link here prepared for this article too. Similarly, once you have this link ready before you create a custom audience, it will make your work easier. So always make the page links ready in a notepad or an Excel file. To create this custom audience, go ahead and click on Tools and then on Audiences. Now click on Create Audiences and then Custom Audience. And obviously click on Website Traffic, that's where we are setting up. With this option now, I will just go ahead and click people visiting specific web pages, which in my case, the article 1, right? So this is the option that we will need here in this step 1 of creating audience. So let's click on it. Now as you can see, there's another option here just beside the URL, which is inside the drop down. And what we get here is contains, does not contains, and equals. Whenever you work with full URLs, always make sure to include URL equals because it just gets more specific. So let's select equals and simply paste the full URL from our article 1. And now we are going to input another additional rule by saying people who do not read article 2 in our case. So what we have already done here is included article 1, but we need to exclude article 2. As you can see, you can set up 2 very basic rules from the below 2 options in blue. Simply click on exclude people and you have the similar field added. So you know what you need to do. Here is simply paste the full URL of the second article. So what we have done here, we set up in this custom audience is we included our visitor who read article 1 and added a rule with exclude visitors who have already read the second article. Quite simple. And then you can simply specify the amount of days a visitor will stay on your retargeting list. And now simply name this audience. I would name it retargeting article 1. Once you're done, just click on create audience and now your audience get created and your audience is ready for next step to remarket with your article 2 content. Now let me quickly set up a dark post with my article 2 where I can use this article in my retargeting ad to people who read article 1. Let me quickly go to tools and select page posts. We have already done that previously, so it would be fairly simple for you to follow what I'm doing right now. Click on create post now and under the link tab, I will simply paste the URL of my second article. And the text is going to be, for the example, let me write, do not miss out your regular dose of wisdom with this valuable information just for you and probably an emoji. And obviously from the call to action button, let's select Learn More. And check Only use this post for an ad and hit Create Post. As always, go to the Ads tab, find the post, click on it and preview it. You know what you're going to do here is copy the post ID. I'm going to open my notepad and simply paste it for my use while we create the ad for retargeting. Now we are going to create an ad campaign specifically to remarket with our ad article 2. So let's just head over to our ads dashboard. Click on Ads Manager from the Tools menu. And let's just create an ad. From the top, you can see we are in Create New Campaign section. Here, the first step in the ad setup process is to select the campaign objective. We want to send visitors who read Article 1 to Article 2. So basically, we will just have to select the campaign objective, send traffic to your website. So simply choose traffic. Now give your first ad campaign a name. In my case, it is a demo ad, so I'm simply naming it as Retarget Article 1 Reader. Now let's click on Continue. Now let me walk you through the most important aspects of the ad setup process. Under Create New Audience, you simply get started by selecting your actual custom audience that you have just created for retargeting purpose. If you have a larger list of custom audience, you need to remember that custom audience. So we found our audience here. Let me just select that, and that's about it. Now you can see you can customize this ad campaign a little bit more further. All the options are self-explanatory based on your requirement. You can choose them or you can modify them by either narrowing your audience down to, let's say, a location. So here, instead of Nepal, I'm just choosing Kathmandu. For your retargeting objective, you should know that your custom audience that you created are already specific. The reach is going to be very low as you go along narrowing down your target. You can reach people who are between 18 and 50. Just do it by simply selecting them in this age section. Now gender is pretty clear that you just want to target both of the reader. Simply leave as all for both the genders. Let's just leave other details as default and scroll down a bit to the budget section. I would keep it to something like $5 for our lifetime budget for one day only. So I'm selecting the start and end date, which is pretty easy and understandable. In my introduction to Facebook advertising, I've already mentioned the budget breakdown, so it can help you budgeting for Facebook ads, but that's not something that you should strictly follow. If this particular ad campaign is doing better for you, you always have the room to increase them gradually. Now let's go to the next page by clicking on Continue. And this is the real deal here. You need to obviously select the page from which page you are running ads from. Of course, if you have multiple pages you're involved with. Here, you are actually not creating any ad here. What we want to do here is select the post that we have already created for this ad. So you know you need to click on Use Existing Post. And you have this little blue text called Enter Post ID. Simply click on it. Now you need to recall the post ID and just copy and paste it here. Once done, simply click on confirm, and that is it. Now after your ads got approved after a small Facebook review process, your ads will run retargeting to people who have read your article 1 and drive those people to article 2 that you want them to check out. So it's pretty simple. The next thing to build a great fan base is retargeting. Many business does not know about. Rather than running page-like ads to complete strangers, why not simply re-engage with people who have already visited your website? That's the best thing to do, because lesser cost per likes, your ad cost will also drop on those already interested ones. Now these are the people who will most likely become your page fans if you ask them to do so through your retargeting. Now obviously you need to ensure that they like products or service you provide, and your page likes rates will grow. Typical scenario is if you have the visitor who visited your website, but because you have a retargeting pixel installed, you can follow up and ask them to become your fan to your company's Facebook business page. No matter whether you're operating an e-commerce store or you just have a simple web presence, try to get people on your fan page, but do it with retargeting. Let us jump into creating custom audience design to build a great fan base on Facebook. We will get started by clicking on Tools and on Audiences. Now click on Create Audience and Custom Audience. And obviously on the website traffic. Even if you are kind of targeting specific audiences, you're going to retarget to a broader audiences here. So retarget everyone who have visited your website. You can always choose to be more specific on targeting people who have visited a very specific section, but definitely it is recommended that you target a little broader initially. Let us create an audience to all website visitors and then simply set the number of days that a visitor will stay on your retargeting list. You can go for about 80 or more, obviously below 180, that's the max. Last but not least, just enter the name of the audience. So give it a name. Let me name it as website visit 80 days. It's done now, and simply click on Create Audience, and now your audience is created. Let us now jump into creating our retargeting for page-like ads straight away. Go into your Ad Manager dashboard by simply clicking on Ad Manager from your Tool option and simply click on Create, which has the green button right here. This time we're choosing Engagement. So click on that. Scroll down a bit, you will be able to see 3 tabs, which is Post Engagement, Page Likes, and Event Responses. You know which one to choose. Let me give this ad campaign the name Retargeting Page Likes 80 Days. Now let us select the custom audience that we just created for my entire website visitors. All the settings are self-explanatory except the location, as you don't want to show your ads to people who have visited your website from country that you never sell or never provide any service to. In my case, I'm including just one country over here. Because your targeting is specific to website visitor, you can leave the targeting method to default and let Facebook do the job. And you always have the space to do the optimizing later on. Now, very important, your connection section is chosen to exclude people who like your page with your page selected, because it's no point showing page-like ads to people who are already your fans. So your page-like ad should be shown to people who should like your page. Now in the campaign budget, you can choose to stay at $5 per day. Now, when you know that your website visitors are quite huge in numbers, you can increase or double up the daily budget. Completely depends on your requirements. But you can obviously look at the report to see whether you need a raise in your daily budget for this campaign. Let's put $5 and move on to clicking on the Continue button. And on the image section, you can include an image here. A great image. It's completely up to you what kind of picture you select. Now on the text link section, you can ask people to like your page with providing a reason on why they should like your page. Either you call out your audience and you try to establish an emotional connection with them saying, like this page if you love dogs or love cats, etc. Or probably you can also ask them to like if you want to get all the latest digital marketing news right onto your newsfeed. That will provide them a reason to like your page, as well as any opportunity that comes after liking your page. So what we did here is set up a process by creating a retargeting list that is targeting people to your website visitors. And then using this custom audience, you just created an ad that is aimed at converting these visitors into your fan. You can definitely make use of this strategy because it's the best way to acquire fans for your business page.